Looking ahead to the next several days, how can we stay safe from heat-related illnesses? Dr. Jill Haltigan from Mercy Health joins me now with some important advice. So, doctor, one of the biggest things is hydration. What should children and adults be doing to make sure they are properly hydrated?
Yeah, absolutely, especially with this heat wave that we're going to be having in the next few days here. I think the best thing for anyone is to just get a water bottle and have it with you all day long. We want to be drinking small amounts, but do that really consistently throughout the day. There's no magic number. They say maybe about a half an ounce to an ounce per pound of body weight. And you could also, the easiest way to kind of measure that really is to just watch your urine. As long as your urine is pale yellow to clear, you're probably doing well. But we really just want to make sure that hydration is something that we're kind of keeping in mind all day, every day.
And kids going to sports practices and camps, should you maybe pack Gatorade too, or also give them some popsicles throughout the day? Would that help?
Yeah. If a child or an adult is going to be sweating profusely as part of their activities, then we do, lose some electrolytes through that process. And having some type of a sports drink or an electrolyte powder, we don't need to do that for everything that we're drinking, but maybe 1 or 2 glasses of that a day can be really helpful. Just want to avoid anything that has a ton of sugar in it, because that might actually make the whole thing a little bit worse as opposed to better.
Okay, good to know. And then what about avoiding heat stroke, and wondering what would the warning signs be for that?
Yeah, we certainly want to pay attention to all the signs that we would be getting thirsty in general. So if our mouth starts to feel a little bit sticky or cottony, again, watch your urination if you're not going as frequently, especially if you feel like you've been taking in fluids. That can be a sign. People may start to feel a little bit lethargic, maybe more fatigued, develop a headache, and kids especially can just start to be very irritable. And if you notice anything like that, definitely want to take a break. It's very important to get people into a cool, kind of shaded area. Cold compresses on the face and upper extremities can be very helpful as well. And then with that water replacement at that point, again, we want to make sure we're getting enough, but we want to do it in a fairly slow and controlled way. If there's any major concerns, of course, present to the emergency room. But otherwise, again, sips kind of throughout the next few hours after you feel like there's an issue. We don't want to drink more than about 1 liter per hour in any scenario, because that can cause issues too.
Absolutely. And what is the difference between heat rash and sun poisoning, and how do you treat each of them? Is it different?
Yeah, so heat rash, I know very well. I feel like I get that every time I'm in the sun. This is just going to be a mild sort of inflammatory reaction on our skin. Sun poisoning is way different. That's when there's been a significant amount of sun exposure, usually a very severe sunburn that comes with that, and more systemic effects. So we're going to feel awful, potentially again have that fatigue, that headache, that irritability, and also be at danger of other things like being a little bit dehydrated and losing some of our electrolytes that we need to replace.
And then generally, what do you advise most as people, try to protect themselves, their loved ones during a heat wave like this? Are there some other major staples that people need to remember?
Yeah, I think it's really important. So first of all, make sure you go into it well. So this weekend is a good time if you haven't been drinking enough water this summer, or you're not in the habit of carrying water around with you, start doing that so that you're not depleted before we even get to the higher temperatures. And then just be really cognizant of taking breaks. You might be used to working, 3 or 4 hours in your garden at one time, not something that we can do when the temperatures are this bad. So really every 30 minutes to an hour, take some time indoors, calm yourself down, make sure that you're feeling okay, make sure that you're cooled and all of that.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this warm weather. We're certainly going to get it, but we have to be safe when we enjoy the summertime. Dr. Haltigan, thank you so much for joining us with all this important information.
Of course, thank you for having me.